give me thoughts. Look, feel?
Actually, those two, I hit them different spots on the face, and they both felt really good.
Yeah, and that's really what we're going to find out of your high MOI drivers is the miss hits are going to be that much better. All right, guys, this year we're bringing you the top 4 most forgiving drivers of 2025. We have a pretty cool selection here today, Nick. Really covering some different ball flights, but the key and the theme of all of these is going to be high MOI drivers. Historically, a problem we run into with high MOI drivers is they tend to be higher spinning. But in recent years, they've tended to rectify that through some different designs. And we'll talk about some of these as we go through. But really what I want to hear from you is as you hit them, just what looks good, what feels good, and really what you think about them. But the first one we will start with is going to be always a good one, Ping's new G440 Max. So put that one down, tell me what you think. I'll tell you some of the features as we go through.
Yeah, it's looks a little bit actually smaller of a head than previous models.
Yeah, I will say the profile of really the entire 440 line does look a little bit different than the 430 and really all the previous models. I would agree. Many of them, especially in the LST, so not the one we're holding, but the shape is definitely a little bit more compact, which I think, again, a lot of golfers are going to like that. So let's get a few swings in with each, though, and again, we can talk a little bit more about them while Nick hits. So we've got the G440 Max coming in. It's got about 5,500 MOI. So really anything you're getting above 5,000 is pretty high. And I guess as Nick continues to hit here, I will stress this isn't a fitting. We've got all these set up at around 9.5 degrees, but we're really just trying to do as close to a apples to apples comparison as we can. So they're probably going to be maybe slightly higher loft than Nick actually needs, but now you got 2 swings in there, Nick. Here we go. So we got one little fade, one little draw. I'd be actually curious on those just to see the spin differences, because the first one is definitely a little bit higher than you'd want.
Yeah, I got the other one a little more off the heel than that one, so.
Yeah, about 3,200 with, again, probably not quite the exact setup you would need if we were going through a fitting. But the cool thing about, again, with the G440, we do have an adjustable weight in the Max, so there is the ability to move the CG a little bit more into the toe if you really want to fight a draw, or a little bit into the heel if you do need to fight that fade. And then they've now introduced what they call their carbon fly wrap technology through the entire line. It's basically a composite crown, composite sole, and that's just weight savings that they can then utilize to put somewhere else. Cool. So give me thoughts. Look, feel?
Actually, those two, I hit them different spots on the face, and they both felt really good. So.
Yeah, and that's really what we're going to find out of your high MOI drivers is the miss hits are going to be that much better. So let's now move on to our next, and that is going to be the new Elite X from Callaway. So this one does feature an adjustable weight as well. This one goes from either the neutral setting in the back, so 13-gram weight, or into the draw setting in the heel, and again you get some CG movement to go along with that. This one comes in at about 5,500 MOI, so very similar to the Ping G440 that we just saw. So initial thoughts when you put it down there, Nick?
Just that crown on top. It's a little different shade of the black than they haven't had in the past.
Yeah, a little more matte
this
this time compared to a little more of the gloss finish. What's your personal preference on that?
I like it. I mean, never want to have the sun in my eyes, so kind of like how the fact that it gives me a little bit of difference between exactly where the face would be and the crown, so I can kind of use that as a alignment aid as well.
An aiming aid, aiming alignment tool. Gotcha. All right, go and make a swing on that.
That looks pretty good. Definitely a little longer in the back end than maybe some of their previous models.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be a feature you see out of many the high MOIs. One way they get the CG deeper in the club is by just extending the rear skirt farther and farther back. That just moves the CG farther back, which in turn helps to increase the MOI. So again, 3,500 RPM backspin on that one. Where'd you hit that in the face?
A little high on the face, actually.
A little higher? Okay.
Yeah, a little high, a little toe.
Yep.
Still felt pretty good, though.
So they do have done a little bit of re-engineering of the face as well as the crown. So now it's their new AI 10X face, and then their new thermoforged crown with carbon fiber. Again, just more about weight savings, aerodynamics, trying to get this balance of distance and forgiveness, especially whenever you get into the high MOI product. Nice one there. If we can avoid the tree.
Oh, look at
nicely
that.
done.
Yeah, that was off the toe as well.
Okay.
I felt that one, so a little bit more little more feel on that, but still felt really good.
And I would just say, again, standing next to you hitting these, just the acoustics of the Elite is definitely a little bit louder than the G4 forward tip. Not right or wrong, just personal preference on what the golfer likes. All right, let's move on to the next. We've got two heavy hitters now. They're going to come in. They're basically like 1A and 1B when it comes to the most forgiving drivers we're going to see this year. We're going to start off with Cobra's new Dark Speed Adapt in their Max K.
Okay.
So let's talk about the MOI first. Coming in at 5,800, it's pretty much tying the highest MOI drivers we've ever measured. We had two last year in the QI10, and the G430 Max 10K came in around a very similar number. Cobra's joining the bunch this year with the Dark Speed Adapt in the Max K. Initial thoughts?
I like the look of it. It's similar top line kind of to the Callaway there, maybe a little bit more pulled back in a triangular shape with the crown, but overall, really nice looking club for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Cobra's made awesome drivers really for a number of generations now. They do a really nice job of putting the sweet spot in the CG right in the middle of the face. We measure all these drivers. We've been doing it for a while now, and they're not always in the middle. In fact, it's pretty uncommon to find them there. Cobra, they're almost always there. In the Dark Speed line, except for the draw model, obviously, they're all right in the middle.
I like that matte finish on top as well. So
they always really nice look cool in the bag, and they perform great as well. Let's get a swing of that one. Sounded pretty solid also, coming out maybe a little lower than the last few. Where'd you hit that one in the face?
A little low on the heel.
Okay. So again, be curious. It's definitely a spot that tends to spin a little more, but still getting out there to 300. Yeah. And again, just over 3,000, which is, again, we'd expect all these to be a little higher spin than you might want to play if you're on the course. Now, they did introduce a few new things this year, and the biggest one is going to be their Future Fit 33 system in the adapter. Yeah. So basically, the Future Fit 33, you have 33 adjustable settings in the adapter. I know it sounds like a lot, but the cool thing is there is a tiny little QR code right here on the heel. If you scan that, it basically tells you how to use it. You look at a chart, you say, I want my ball to go here, and you pick the adapter setting that matches that, and you pretty much leave it there. Now, the correct way is to go through a proper fitting, but if you were just trying to do it yourself at home, it's not really that hard. Let's get another one.
All right.
I like how you're throwing a little mix of fades and draws in there.
Hey, we're trying to get a good look at all these things.
It's totally intentional, I'm sure.
100%.
Nice, and I don't see that one. Yeah, just hanging out just below 3,000. So honestly, again, if that was, again, what you went out there on the course and played, is it ideal? No. Is it totally going to work? For sure. Final thoughts on that one before we move into the most forgiving driver.
Good feel to it. Definitely could feel it on the face where I hit it, but still really good feel. The sound was a little bit more muted as well than the Elite, so
definitely would agree.
Like the feel of it,
cool.
And look of it.
We'll toss that one over, and then we've got our most forgiving driver, and again, we're using MOI as a measurement of forgiveness. There's obviously a number of factors that goes in there, but QI35 is going to be the highest MOI driver we've measured this year, and it's coming in at 5,850, so just barely ahead of the Dark Speed Adapt. And it's the QI35 Max, so it's got a massive weight in the back. The more weight you move back, that's how they're increasing the MOI. And like in years past, we've got the composite face, infinity composite crown, composite sole, lots of composite. Basically just allows them to put all that weight in the back, and that's one way how they make the MOI as high as they do. What I'm most impressed though with TaylorMade this year is they did a great job of also making the CGs very neutral across the entire line. We haven't always seen that, again, from many of our manufacturers. Every single one we've measured in the QI35, be it the LS, be it the Max, or just the standard model, they're all right in the middle. So you can pretty much do whatever you want with this driver. It's just a matter of how much forgiveness do you want, or how low do you want your spin to be.
Yep, nope, looks good. Kind of the typical TaylorMade look. Definitely a little bigger head than some of the smaller models that I've used in the past, but still nice round shape to it. I like the setup, doesn't look like it's setting up closed at all, which I've always liked about the TaylorMades, and really cool top design right there. I really like that.
I do like how they changed up the colors this year. It's more of a, I'm going to call it gunmetal almost really look to it. So it's
steel or whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely got a bit of a sleek design. Comparable to the Dark Speed in the sense where it's fairly blacked out across the line. So again, looking cool in the bag is it's important to me.
That's a big piece.
Let's get a few swings of that guy.
Oh, that was not the best swing.
That's all right. That's what we want to see. Let's see. Can we clear the water?
Nope, no chance.
Oh, maybe we'll get a skip. All right, it's all right. We'll still get numbers on it. Where was that in the face?
That was pretty low on the
face. Pretty low?
Right
okay.
there.
Pretty low, but still managed. Yeah, 3-degree launch. It's not going to quite do it.
No? Well, you know, practicing for those stingers, I guess.
That's why we're hitting the most forgiving drivers.
Exactly.
That one sounded a little different. So I will say on that one.
That was way off the toe on that.
A little bit more off the toe. So I'll say on that one though, compared to some of the composite models of yesteryear, it definitely sounded a little bit more metallic. I know I've hit a number of balls with the QI35. You're probably the first person I've actually stood next to and
heard it.
Heard somebody hit it, and it definitely sounds much more metallic compared to prior generations, or even compared to some of the titanium drivers.
I'm gonna hit one good one, hopefully. Oh, man, coming out much lower.
All right, I'm gonna take a look at some numbers in this one.
That's how you make this hole a little shorter right there.
Take off just as much as you can.
Take off as much as you can.
And yeah, coming in at just over 3,000, 3,500. Again, it's where I'd expect a lot of these drivers to be for high MOI. So again, putting numbers aside, because obviously this is not a fitting, just from aesthetics, personal preference. Any of those for you?
Yeah, one of them definitely. This guy actually feels a lot better than I think in past years.
Yeah, I would agree.
I definitely feel like it has a little bit more substance to the face. I can feel where it is, but I also, like that last one, I did hit pretty center. Felt really good coming off the face. So
yeah, and they have re-engineered, improved, again, whatever you want to call it, their carbon face through the number of generations they've done so far. So I think it's gotten better every time they've done it. And you'll see again, like I said, some of the familiar technology still with the power bridge in the bottom, excuse me, the through speed slot, just allowing for that bottom face to flex a little bit as well too. So honestly, if you need some forgiveness, you really can't go wrong with any of these clubs, but as you're seeing, it's important to still make sure you do go through a fitting, because they're all going to spin slightly different, so you might need a 10 in one, 9 in the other. Best place to get that done though is at your local GolfTec. So log on to golftec.com, find a local GolfTec near you.